Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is indeed the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Well, today is, of course, Tuesday, August the 8th, 2023. My fellow Americans, those of you already logged in, I applaud you. I can see those of you already logged in. You know if it's Tuesday, if it's 8 p.m., the 2000 hours, it's the Robert Duverny Show. Well, tonight, my fellow Americans, as always, we have a show loaded with news information that are relevant to the American people, not just here in the state of Florida, but throughout the nations and of course throughout the world. Well, tonight I'd like to touch with you on a series of events that took place last week, but we're not going to delve into much politics tonight. We're going to put politics aside. We're going to look at the books tonight. Well, tonight I dedicate this show for my viewers, those students I've met many years ago, and those I've always go to your school. I'm referring to a big shout out to, of course, Lakeview Elementary Middle School right here in North Miami, with, of course, Mr. Odilson Ambrose at the helm. And again, I'd like to give a big shout out to Lakeview, the students over there. They're phenomenal, and they, of course, they have a teacher and Mr. Odilson Ambrose. Of course, they would excel at all front. Of course, all the teachers out there, my brother Wallen Duverny, of course, a great maestro, a teacher, of course, in the Miami-Dade County. I'd like to give some shout out to you as well for the work that you do in the community. All the teachers, of course, Dr. Azor, counselor in the great state of Georgia, Gwinnett County. Tonight, this show is all about teachers. Those of you who've paved the way, you know, when it's come to issues of teaching, and I'm very passionate about it. So tonight I'm going to be more passionate than politics. For the simple fact, you teachers have always have a profound impact on me. Ever since from grade school, I can remember when I was in even first grade. And imagine, some 50 years ago, I was in first grade, and I still remember vividly, just like I was in that classroom yesterday. The impact those instructors have made on me, and until even for my graduate school, folks that I've encountered, as professors I've met along the way, they met a great light. Even my Sunday school teachers have impacted on me as well. So I think teaching is a vocation, and those of you who have chosen to go into that field, tonight, the Robert Duverny Show salutes you for the work that you have done. You have impacted lives for future generations, and only we as a people, we will pay you in due time. And the way we pay you is by carrying that torch, carrying that baton to the next generation, and of course teach those values that we have acquired along the ways. Tonight I'd like to give you a few minutes to call your friends. I haven't seen any message posted yet, but then again, I know you there. I know my folks out there, my viewers, the loyal viewers. I mean, well, just okay, just on a side note, I'm going to give you a few minutes to call a friend or colleague, let them know that the Robert Duverny Show is on. I mean, it's on. It's August the 8th, okay? Now, August the 8th, I remember it's a lot of birthday, a lot of people celebrating birthday for the month of August. Well, today's, my fellow Americans, our breaking news. My lovely sister, the one I followed, Dr. Rhonda Dominic, just logged in. She gave me a thumbs up, and then she's also a student at one time. Maybe some 60 years ago, but anyway, again, she was a student, all right, regardless of how long she's been a student, but she gave me a thumbs up. All right, well, reason why I'm sharing this with you, just this week, I was challenged on the Robert Duverny Show by someone. I'm not going to mention her name, but she knows who she is. She said that the Robert Duverny Show or some t-shirts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Robert Duverny Show undoubtedly has really met the challenge, and just yesterday we FedEx got a few goodies all over the states, all over the nation, as a matter of fact. Those of you who are not on the list, well, that means you have not done your job. So there's still time to get those viewers signed up to the Robert Duverny Show. I mean, what I mean by signing up to the Robert Duverny Show, I would like to see them on YouTube. Well, YouTube, I have tracks of those viewers. They tell me that they're loyal to the Robert Duverny Show. Now, those of you who sign up 5 viewers, you will get some goodies from the Robert Duverny Show at no expenses, at at no cost to you. Those will be shipped FedEx overnight to your address, to your designated address, and that's what we do at the Robert Duverny Show. Well, quite a few stuff have gone out just yesterday via USPS, FedEx, and they went around the nation. I'm sure most of you guys will be excited by the time you get some of those tonight, tomorrow, and throughout the week. And again, you get to thank the Robert Duverny Show. But again, it's not me. It's the ambiance. It's the love that the enthusiasm that you've displayed for the past 2 years at the Robert Duverny Show. Well. Again, tonight, there's quite a few of you guys are logged in. Those of you on Facebook, those of you on YouTube, and those of you on X, a platform which is formerly known Twitter. It's no longer Twitter right now. It's the X platform. Again, this is, of course, the new platform that Mr. The X-Man, Elon Musk, has created. Again, he changed Twitter to the X platform. You know, he loves X's. For some reason, he had a SpaceX, and he's a man who would like to find out about the unknown. So he's even created that Twitter, no longer Twitter, now to X platform. Well, I got to say just a few shout outs, give some shout outs to those of you who logged in. Dr. Duverny logged in, of course. Good evening, my lovely wife. Of course, Mrs. Enriquez from the city of Pembroke Pines for logging in. Thank you for logging in. Those are all the YouTube viewers. All I'm seeing right now, it's laid up. My line right now is laid up with the YouTube followers. Those are the loyal viewers, and not too distant future, you will be receiving some goodies in the mail. That's for sure, because you've been loyal viewers. We could not ask for a better audience than you are. And the Robert Duverny Show look forward every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to be at your on your gadget, either your phone or your cell phone, your big screen TV, or your laptop, you name it. But again, the Robert Duverny Show is there for you. Well, tonight, my fellow Americans, as I've stated at the top of the segment, we'll be talking about the new challenges when it comes to school, the new school year. I'm sure most of you guys are parents. Most of you have a desire to see your children prosper at all fronts, academically, scholarly, and of course on the sport level as well. So tonight, I'd like to touch base on many facets of what awaits you down the future for the year 23-24. Tonight, I'd like to tackle with you how to tackle new challenges for each school year, well, particularly for the year 2024, 2023, 2024. This is a school year that we have right at doorstep. Just so you know, today is already the 8th. There has been quite back to school bash that's going on. Just recently, I got some feeders online regarding Miami Edison, my school that I graduated from high school. I didn't know about it. I missed it. I'm sure my sister, she was in attendance with HAPA. They're doing a phenomenal job there. I applaud you for going back to my old school, and I'm sure your brother-in-law is of course the superintendent there at that school. So it's a great thing that you can go back and give back. I think it's a great thing. Mrs. Bernadette Ray just logged in. Thank you for logging in. My mother-in-law, thank you for logging in. And well, reason why I'd like to touch those with you is that each school year brings its own challenges. Okay, so when you bear that in mind, you know what's at stake, and there's always been cut in the school budget, although there's more students in the classroom which require more accessories, and the fact that there's cut in the budget, some teachers happen to be the one paying the brunt of it. So, which means that if there's a way that you can participate in the class, so we could always donate either monetary or even put your name on a list if the school needs something. I mean, those of you may have kids in kindergarten or elementary school. That I think that would be a great asset. You make it a little lighter on the part of the teachers. These teachers, they don't make much money, and sometimes they go the extra mile. They're dipping into their own pocket to buy supplies, and we have some students who are going through some tough times, some families going through some tough time. As you know, not long ago with COVID, we have death in the family. So there's a bunch of issues that goes through. So any little thing that you can do, remember that you are your brother's keepers. And once this is America. That's the beauty of America. We always see the very best in others, and then we tend to support one another. And I think it's a great thing that we can do by participating, by chipping. Even I'm going to go a bit further. Participate in the school activities, PTA, parent-teacher administration. I mean, these are key. You get a chance to meet not only the teachers in the classroom, but also you know what the school is going through, what the effort, and how can you help the teacher, okay, to make the classroom even better. I mean, I think when we all chip in, when we all participate, we all do well. And I think it's a great thing. Put some time aside for your kids' studies. I mean, I volunteer for next year to do some curriculum as well at the school level. I've also participated sometime around like May. Every May, I've gone to schools and give my pep talk, and I do a career day with these students. I mean, they're the best students, man. But I know what the teachers go through in that classroom. I mean, dealing with those kids on a regular basis. I mean, those kids, they're brilliant. They have a mind that is like a sponge, really to absorb. And they want to absorb so much, yet they just cannot wait to order the next question. But then again, they're so innocent, they're so loving students. I mean, it brings tears every time when I know I'm leaving the school, when I'm doing my last one, and it's always hard to leave the classroom, and those students always give me big hugs, and then when are you coming back again? I said, well, hopefully God spare my life. The following year I'll be here. So I've made it a commitment to put time aside. Comes May, a series of schools, I think about 5 or 6 schools a year. So just to I can go back and be with these students, and then they can see someone who look like them in the classroom, and tell them the stories what I've gone through and how challenging it was to be in 3rd grade. 3rd grade. So I mean, you can relate to those kids. I think it's a great thing. All right. So with that being said, I'd like to lay out to you the things that for you to be on the lookout, to be on the lookout for. You know, assume nothing. You know, when you know that you know nothing, you will not assume anything. Okay. So what do I mean by that? It's important that we assume nothing, because oftentimes we think we know it all, but those teachers, those in the administration, these are the folks who going through a lot, and sometimes that's the reason why they have those PTA meetings, and that they can share with you what's going on, if because all you need in a classroom really is one bad apple. And just like if you were to put an orange or a bad apple within a basket of the same fruits, I mean, just that one bad one will spoil the entire basket. So it's important. Sometimes it's your own kid who's a troublemaker in that classroom. But again, if you were to take a day off from work, or even half a day, if you've been called or you've been sending some notes, email that your kid has been belligerent in the classroom, and you just want to come in and chip in one day and then sit in the classroom, and then that will definitely make an impact, a difference. And oftentimes we so caught up in our daily routine, and everything else bypass us. And but one thing I'd like to reassure you this evening is that time is precious. Alexander the Great said it best. He said that time is the greatest tool that we have. The greatest tool that we have. The greatest tool. And that's the beauty of America. They put a lot of emphasis on time. Every minute, every second counts. You look at sports. Even that's the reason why they pay you hourly. Okay? And that's the reason why if you're going over 40 hours, you get overtime. Because they know how crucial time is. They don't pay you by a day. But most jobs, they pay you hourly. Because they factor that. They know how critical time is. So your time in the classroom will mean a lot, not only to the school, but also to your own personal child who sees mom or dad making time out of the busy schedule to be there for them. So you just don't know the impact that you're creating. Oh my man, oh my, look who's here. The professor. I got a chance to see Mr. Janglod this afternoon. He's a great teacher in both Miami-Dade and Broad College. He's a man who has an encyclopedic knowledge when it comes to mathematics. Mr. Janglod, I'd like to thank you for the great work you're doing in the community. And I'm sure you have a lot of young men and young women you have impacted over the years. And tonight we dedicated this show to teachers of your calibers, those who make time aside to teach. And I think there's a saying that says, "He who dares to teach shall never cease to learn." I'm sure you do your own work, you do your own research on a regular basis, and just to improve the quality of learning for those students. Again, the Robert Duverny Show salute you this evening, and America is better because of you. Thank you, sir. All right, sounds good. Yeah, Professor Amos Janglod is in the house. He's a man who's very busy, but he make the time tonight to be on set, and we appreciate your hard work in the community and stuff. Thank you so much. Yes, again, we talk about assume nothing. Again, when you assume nothing, whether or not folks, you have a mindset that is really in line to learn, and once you do that, guess what? You learn more. you learn more, of course. And another thing that I'd like to share with you, when we're talking about parental involvement, administrative expectation, student ability, or community support, assumption in teaching can be dangerous. Yes, it can be very, very dangerous. That's something we should always bear in mind. And my advice, just for the moment, pretend to be like me, a stranger in a strange land. When you assume nothing, you will be more open, more observant, of course, and more ready to greet the year right. And this is a challenge that comes every year. And just be there and be ready when your name is called to serve. And that's the best thing that we can do as parents and also as bystanders. Just again, remember the motto, assume nothing. And just have an open mind, just have a helping hand, willing to help. Just you want to go along with the ride, okay? Just I think that's very important, okay? So it's important that we keep those on a regular basis. And man, you'll see that when you reap the fruit, you would say, "Hey, I've heard this on the Robert Duverny Show." Well, next, my fellow Americans, is do your research. I'm giving you those are the challenges. The next thing is to do your research. Oftentimes we tend to take a back seat. We don't do our research. I think it's important that we do our research on a regular basis. And once we do our research, folks, we know what our children will be getting into. Again, some of them probably going to new grades. Of course, your kid was in second grade last year, so this year your kid will be going to third grade. I mean, now those teachers, those elementary teachers, third grade. This is in Florida particularly. That's a time that they start testing your child. That's a time that they can return your child back, or the child could advance to the next level. So the third grade can be quite challenging, and I encourage you, if you have kids going to third grade, there's a time to really either start thinking about a tutor, or even if you have the time, if you have some time to spare, or create some time, as a matter of fact, to be there for your daughter, your son, or your nephew, or whomever that may be, because third grade is a grade that they use that as a plateau. In other words, to evaluate the child performance, and then that's what determines if the child should advance to the next grade, or should they return the child back. So do your research, new students and families. Every year brings something new. Every year brings something new. With that in mind, you need to do your digging. It's very important. That's right. Thank you. We have to do our research, folks. It's know what's at stake. Know what's required of your child, and when you stay afloat, and you'll reap the very best at the end. Also, next thing I'd like to touch with you is prepare for all possibilities. All right. I could write a book, or at least a lengthy blog article, for that matter of fact, about the many unexpected things that have happened while I was teaching, and at some level, in my case, because I tried that at one point. But then again, the beauty I found in that is that you create that impact with those students, and there's a story you can tell, and you can relate to them. You know their level of learning, what scheme you can use just so you can convey a lesson plan to them, so they can be more understanding of this approach. Well, prepare for all possibilities, folks, is to knowing that you predict everything. Be ready for the unexpected to happen, and knowing that it will be. It will be. So when you prepare for all possibilities, if it requires you to hire a tutor, if it requires for you to have meetings with the teacher, I think those are very important. And these are things that we tend to have the parents geared up, and just so that it can create a platform, some kind of an open door policy with the teachers. They can, because right now with the age of technologies, they can email you, they can send you texts. Because I remember I'm still getting, I get texts on a regular basis. I get email for my child, and then some other kids I sponsor as well. I would get email for them on a regular basis, especially those who are graduating. They always use my number as reference, and then the teachers will contact me for the grades, and then about career move, things of that nature. So just be ready. Again, open to all possibilities. Okay. All right. So it's already 8:25. We're about to wrap it up. We need, at the end, folks, create a safety net. Again, these are the challenges. Again, we talk at the top of the segment, which is very important. There's nothing wrong with needing help from time to time. What that means is you can always reach out to a colleague of yours, a friend who may be well suited for a particular subject, who may have the fluidity in teaching. So again, I know some folks who you tell them what's 3 + 2, they tell you it's 11. But again, it's just not their forte, and then you understand. But these are folks who can write a paper with such fluidity, and then we each one of us have our own finesse. In other words, on expertise in some field. So and again, if there's a section that you may have difficulty, and your child may need help, so I think it's best if you could always reach out, create a safety net where you can tap into in the likes of Mr. Amos Janklow, not better known as AJ, or Mr. Odilson Ambrose, and I'm sure there's a host of teachers, of tutors out there who can be great variable. One thing I admire about teachers, especially those who see teaching as a vocation. Again, hear me out on this one. A vocation is not something that you just take very lightly. This is something that you have a passion about. This is bigger than self. Because the money that these teachers make, and they could have easily, after a year or two, and especially those who have a family, they could have chosen to be elsewhere in the business world. Yet they stuck in there year after year. I believe it's a simple fact they know they're making an impact on these students, and they are the one who's laying the foundation for the future generations. And that's the reason why I applaud, dedicated this show this evening to the teachers and for the great work and that they've done. Again, a vocation is not something that you could take very lightly. This is something that is bestowed upon you. Okay, and it's technically like you carry a burden, and then again, if you put it down, you're letting a lot of people down. So, in spite of the financial, in spite of the accolades, and in spite of the limelight that you may not be enjoyed, but then again, you figured if I don't, then who else, right? So, I think that speaks volume, and teachers hold a special place in my heart. That is for sure, and they continue to do so. And I'm always amazed to see teachers. And tonight, just before I close, there's only a few minutes left before I close the show. I'd like to hear from you. Some of you viewers out there, both of you guys on Facebook, YouTube, and I'm not on TikTok, so and X platform, to go ahead and put something out there. I mean, is there a particular teacher who impacted your life, and until today, it was the skills that he or she has bestowed upon you that continue to propel you to where you are and to where you will be going in the future. And I'd like to hear from you, and I think that'll be great, and then others can follow as well. And if I'd love to hear from you. If not, we'll go ahead and close the show. And but again, teachers and parents, and thank you for your work. And in order for us to have a better nation, we need to have good educators, and because you are instilling in these kids knowledge, and knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and we applaud you this evening. All right. So I don't see any questions. I don't know if this topic wasn't too well, it wasn't too long, but I try to make it very short. I know my audience are oftentimes very reserved, but I'm sure there's quite a few of you may have special love in your heart for some teachers who may have impacted you in the past. But we thank you this evening for taking the time to be with the Robert Duverny Show. Well, my fellow Americans, the time has come. Like all good things must come to an end. This is the end of our show tonight. It's already 20:30, 8:30. We look forward to seeing you here in not too distant future. Hopefully next week, God's willing, 8:15 and 4 show alike. Again, if you see a teacher, give them a hug, give her a hug, show some appreciation. Also, if you could donate your monetary or your some supplies to some of the schools, it will be definitely helpful. And because of budget cut, we would just like to reemphasize that. And then just be ready for the school year. I think some school already started, particularly in Georgia. They already started, and I think Florida will start the following week. I think sometime. I think the administration will start going next week, middle of next week, and school will start on the 21st, if I have this correct. Well, until next time, my fellow Americans, thank you again for opening your doors to listen to the Robert Duverny Show, and wishing you the very best. Have a good night. Thank you.